Welcome to the TRSM ASC's coaching circle on note-taking and mind mapping. During this session, we will be reviewing the learning ratio, the science behind memory, reading strategies, note-taking tips and strategies, and mind mapping. Learning ratio. Research shows we learn in this ratio of 40-20-40. 40% is what we retain when we read before class, 20% when we go to class and actively participate, and 40% when we review after class. Course outlines are a great tool to prepare before class as they indicate the weekly content that will be taught in class. The more we review before class, the more we will be able to participate in class. Study groups and tutoring are a great way to achieve that second 40% as they guide you on reviewing content and clarifying concepts or questions that may arise after class. The science behind memory. There are three big processes that take place when we learn: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding is our first contact with information and usually happens through our senses. Through sight when we read, through our hearing when we hear the professor during a lecture, and so on. Where is this content going to be stored? In our brain into tiny cells that connect to each other. These connections are called neural pathways, and the more we stimulate them, the more we remember. On the other hand, when we do nothing to work on them, we forget. As they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. Finally, retrieval is our ability to find that information whenever we need it, for example, to take a test. The more senses we involve when we study, the greater our ability to remember. SQ3R is a reading comprehension strategy named for its 5 steps: survey, question, read, recite, and review. It is a powerful method that helps you discover the important facts and ideas that are contained in your textbook and master and retain that information so that you're prepared for your exam. It can be very useful for dense readings that, unlike textbooks, don't have illustrations, learning objectives, and chapter summaries. S. Survey. Survey the title headings, charts, and captions, the introduction and conclusion, and the summary. Q. Question. What do I already know, and what has my professor emphasized? R. Read. Seek answers to your questions. R. Recite. See, say, hear, write. Engage multiple senses to increase your memory. R. Review. Summarize important points. Flashcards, study notes, concept maps are useful tools. These are some useful tips to help you keep your notes organized and efficient. Start each new lecture on a new page. Date and number each page. Use keywords. Use pictures and diagrams, such as dual coding. Copy material from the board, any formulas, diagrams, or dates. Keep your own thoughts separate from the professor's points. Pick a symbol or a code to do so. Use an I'm lost signal, for example, a question mark on the page margin. Use standard abbreviations or remove vowels, for example, turn talk into TLK or said into SD. Leave blank spaces. Take notes in different colors. For example, one color for text notes and another one for lectures. And finally, use a 3-ring binder. If your professor posts PowerPoint slides before the lecture, it is very useful to print them as notes. The lines beside each slide are for you to take notes of important points mentioned during class that are not included in the slide. The idea is that you not only read the content in advance, but that you also bring them to class and limit your note-taking so that you can concentrate on the lecture. Collecting these notes in a binder can make for great study material for your tests, as they contain both the slides provided by the professor and your own notes for class. To avoid creating confusion with graphic symbols, you can create your own dictionary of symbols in the front of your notebook, such as the ones shown below. Use brackets, parentheses, circles, and squares to group information that belongs together. Use stars, arrows, and underlines to indicate important points. Flag the more important points with double stars, double arrows, or double underlines. Use equal signals and greater and less than signals to indicate compared quantities. Use question marks for the obvious purpose. Double question marks can single tough questions or especially confusing points. Mueller and Oppenheimer, among many other researchers, demonstrate that longhand note-taking is more effective for learning. On the other hand, people's ability to type is faster than handwriting. So when typing, students tend to fall into the trap of taking notes word by word without devoting much thought to the content. So once the laptop is down, they vaguely know what they've just typed. On the other hand, since longhand writing takes more time, it gives the brain a chance to filter what is relevant and worth writing down. If you prefer typing your notes for organizational reasons, you may handwrite your notes in class and type them after. This way, you may keep an organized record of your class as well as for later content review. Now we will dwell on some note-taking strategies: the outlining, charting, and the Cornell method. We will see when they're appropriate, so you can decide which one may serve your needs better. You may also decide to combine them and see what works for you. The outlining method. An outline shows the relationships, major points, and supporting ideas. With this method, you'll be able to record and organize ideas, which can be useful if the material has been presented in a disorganized way. In the outlining method, each phrase or sentence is called a heading, which can be broken down into key points as indicated in the illustration below. The charting note-taking method uses columns to organize information. This method is useful for lessons that cover a lot of facts or relationships between topics, and it facilitates comparison of ideas or facts. The Cornell method is an efficient system for taking, organizing, and reviewing notes that facilitate studying for an exam. It requires very little preparation, which makes it ideal for note-taking in class. The page will be divided into 4, or sometimes only 3, different sections. 2 columns, 1 area at the bottom of the page, and 1 smaller area at the top of the page. The idea behind this is simple. All actual notes from the lecture go in the main note-taking column. The smaller column on the left side, or Q column, is for questions about the notes you've written, and for keywords or comments that make the whole reviewing and exam preparation process easier. When reviewing the notes, a brief summary of every page should be included at the bottom of the page. This is a powerful method because it encourages students to reflect on their notes by summarizing them briefly in their own words. This can often be enough to remember study notes and to successfully pass an exam. Mind mapping is the process of creating a visual representation of knowledge. It can be used in conjunction with the Cornell method. As any other traditional note-taking method, it allows you to outline information by dividing them into major and minor topics. Mind maps contain lists and sequences of ideas and can help you to demonstrate relationships between concepts. They can also provide a picture of a subject. They can make information memorable by adding images and colors. How to create a concept or idea map. Step 1. Give yourself plenty of paper room. Step 2. Determine the main concept of the lecture and create a central idea. Step 3. Add branches to your mind map. Step 4. Add keywords and images. Step 5. Color code your branches and ideas. Jazz it up. Online resources such as Mapio.com or Inspiration are very useful. Mapio.com is a free mind map database that may help you study hundreds of subjects. Inspiration, on the other hand, is a software that can help you create your own maps. It has very useful functions that help you convert your maps and diagrams into writing outlines to develop essays or papers. If you want to sharpen your note-taking skills, you may book an appointment with a peer academic coach at the Academic Success Center. We are located in TRS 2168. You may also book an appointment with our learning strategist. Follow us on social media via Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Are You Connected Learning, where you'll find useful tutorial videos for some main business courses offered at TRSM. Also, please visit our website at www.ryerson.ca/Ted Rogers School/success. Thank you for your time.